You're tuning into Apocalypse Now, the #1 rated and only radio show out here in the wasteland. Brought to you by our sponsors over at the Atomic Canned Foods Factory. Atomic Foods has been serving wasteland survivors and mutants since 2022. It's time for Apocalypse Now!
Thank you so much, 40th radio announcer person. Really, really appreciate it. Welcome back to Apocalypse How, the show where we answer the age-old question, Apocalypse
How?
Oh my god, we did it.
Again.
Okay. Again.
Third time consecutively.
Is it the third time?
I think.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's very good. This is episode, what, 5? Episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5.
Yay! Okay, I'm really excited for episode 5, so we'll do this really quickly. Hi, my name is Shia Nice. Over there, it's...
Harrison Snyder.
Nikita Zang.
Yay! Aliens! We're doing aliens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all thought I was excited about zombies, but, like, I'm excited about aliens because they could legit be, like, legit.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah.
100%. Aliens 100%.
We'll talk about
No,
that.
But we're going to get into that.
I feel like they're legit.
Well, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty.
Like, there's
Yes,
no
we will.
way that there's this huge, wide universe and we're, like, the only life forms on one planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Question is, do we want to find them or not?
I mean,
If they look like
partially.
E.T., then 100%.
Oh, yeah, they're,
Yes.
like, benevolent spirits who
Yeah.
are out there to help us. They're like Twilight Zone to
Well-
serve man.
Oh, I love that episode.
That
Yeah.
was a great episode.
Good one.
But,
Didn't it have a bad ending?
oh yeah, it was pretty
Mhm.
bad.
To
Yeah.
serve man, the title is very literal.
To serve man, as in
To serve a man.
Serving a man.
for
For-
food.
yeah, for
as
to
opposed
someone
to
else.
serving men,
Spoiler.
mankind. Yeah.
Okay, they
Okay.
can't watch that anymore.
No.
But,
No.
before we begin, Harrison has some news for us.
Oh, you're gonna make me. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like I'm
Well, you
going
know
through a
what?
divorce, and I'm the one that has to break it to the kids.
Yes, and we have to be professional, dude.
Okay, fine. So yeah, as you guys know, we upload our shows onto Spirit Live weekly. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the submission time for the Spirit Live shows is coming to an end. I believe on Cheyenne.
This would be the second last episode.
Second last. So meaning that this is going to be the second last time you can catch us on Spirit Live for the year, I believe, until next year.
Until September, I guess, if we get renewed.
Yeah, if we get renewed.
If we get renewed.
And hopefully then we'll be back with more content. There are talks about possibly doing a sub-branch of the show or, with a different plot line and everything. But yeah, guys, good things must come to an end. And in no way do we plan on ending this wonderful show. It's just
God, no.
the end for now.
We'll
Yes.
go out with a bang.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, stay tuned, guys, for more. We have an awesome episode ahead for you guys today with plenty of content to come. And in the meantime, let's just jump right into it with our first segment of Bunker Book Club.
Hooray!
Cool.
Hooray.
And yeah.
Where's the start button? Where's the start? Welcome to another installment of Bunker Book Club. Believe it or not, it is a book club in a bunker because it's the apocalypse and we are horribly bored. I am Shia Nias once again. Let's go left this time.
Okay, I am Nikita Zang. Hello.
Over there.
Coming to you live from Ryerson's RCC, it's me, Harrison Snyder.
Hooray! I'm really upset about the circumstances of deciding who went first today. Because on one hand, yes, aliens, sick. Of course, everybody wanted to go first. And I actually had a glow-in-the-dark mini-putt golf game planned for us to decide civilly. I'm tired of losing fingers, But no, Harrison's like, fuck you, I'm gonna take your food, and I'm gonna starve you guys until you let me go first.
Exactly.
And, I really miss my crispers. So,
No shame, no shame.
On the bright side, I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. Yeah, we can wear anything now.
Yeah, we can wear anything.
So yeah, Harrison's going first.
Yep.
And then I happen to be the person who fainted last. So I'm going
Yeah.
after.
Ironic.
Yeah.
One of our cast members had a slight
Oh yes.
slight episode of technical difficulties on the behind the scenes this morning. Anyway, let's get right into it.
Somebody fainted.
Someone
No one
passed
fainted.
out.
Shut up.
Someone fainted.
It's called being deprived of food. It is the apocalypse. My hair is falling out from radiation poisoning, and
I mean,
It
you know what?
happens to everybody.
Yeah, it happens to everybody.
happens to
the best of
okay.
the best.
Don't worry. What's a bus? What's fainting? We don't know
Yeah.
what that is.
no.
Harrison, talk.
Okay. So because we're talking about aliens, I thought, why the heck not talk about the biggest one of the biggest conspiracies, in my opinion, in North American alien culture, and that would be
Yes.
Area 51. Who here knows Area 51?
My
If you
hand
know
is up.
anything
I know
about
of
aliens,
it.
you know Area 51, or about Area 51.
Do I know it
Basically, a top secret, quote unquote, airfield, as the United States government calls it, in the, I believe, Las Vegas area, in the desert.
What happens in Vegas?
Stays in Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes and no, and I'll be getting into that. Supposedly, the U.S. government uses this airfield as testing grounds for flight and stuff like that, you know, to test top secret military aircraft. But, most recently, this article that I have in front of me from the Washington Post says, which was published on December 18, 2017, states that the government admits it studies UFOs.
What?
Called it.
So about those UFO conspiracy theories. Well, the Pentagon has officially confirmed that there was, in fact, a $22 million government program to collect and analyze, quote-unquote, anomalous aerospace threats,
Anomalous aerospace.
which
threats.
is, if you plug that into Google Translate and put on the government lingo to English setting, pretty much government talk for UFOs, unidentified flying objects.
What? Anomalous.
Let's sound that out.
Anomalous
Anomalous aerospace
aerospace
threats. Okay,
threats.
class, good job.
3 times fast. Let's go.
No,
Anomalous
not
aerospace
happening.
threats.
But yes, the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program was a rare instance of continued government investigations into the UFO phenomenon that was the subject of multiple official inquiries in the 50s and 60s. As they say, art is an imitation of life. So all those sci-fi movies coming out around the 50s and 60s that were wildly popular, I think they must have had to do with what was going on at the time. What do you guys think? Do you guys, first of all, believe in aliens?
Yes.
I think this is a good segue into our
Do I believe there's intelligent life other than us? Hell yeah.
to say that there are no other, intelligent forms of life out there aside from us.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
whoever designed the universe, I don't think he's like, okay, I got all these planets.
we're just gonna
Shit,
put these
okay.
messed up humans on this sphere ball of water and land.
Make them super narcissistic and self-involved, and then
Yeah.
just
Aggressive.
and like put them far away from like the good ones
Exactly.
that they never really find. them.
Exactly. So all the good ones are in the other corner of the galaxy.
Yeah, the good kids are on like the far reaches of the
On
universe.
the nice planets.
Yeah, levitating and shit. You
Okay,
know?
so we've established that all three of us here today believe in aliens
Well,
or alien life forms. Oh, Nikita?
Technically, I'm going to bring
oh.
up the debate in my
Okay.
Bunker Book Club whether aliens or not exist. Well, you guys will see in my Bunker Book Club, but I just kind of talk about like statistics.
Okay, well, I also do
And-
feel like, and actually it has been confirmed that aliens do exist, by the way.
True.
The term alien doesn't necessarily mean ET.
Yeah.
It can refer to microscopic organisms like bacteria that don't live on Earth. I do remember reading a study that was concluded, I think that was released by NASA, that did confirm that there were, I think that was alien life form, I think was it Mars? Or?
Was it? I think they found like
Bacteria,
creatures on Mars.
yeah, or they
Yeah.
found some kind of traces of it, or proof that there was at one point,
Yeah.
or that there is bacteria on Mars.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I'm ambiguous. I'm agnostic about aliens.
Yeah, but
Cannot
with,
be
with that
diversified.
being said, that I think we're getting a little off track.
Yeah, aliens.
Conclusion: aliens.
Aliens.
Pretty much. Well, the U.S. government admits that they're investing money into it. I mean, really, NASA? You guys really think NASA's just launching, spacecraft into the sky to see what? Are
Yeah,
aliens out there? And I definitely think that the government has every intention of communicating with whatever's out there, and I'm sure they already have methods of communicating with whatever's out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at all the money, like the billions of dollars being invested into space exploration and space studies.
Yeah.
It's been invested in over the years. It is happening. It's relevant right now, especially with SpaceX.
Yes.
What does
Oh,
the
yeah.
X stand for? Extraterrestrial. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, Elon Musk is so extra.
Extra.
Elon Musk.
Musk,
Interesting
you
sounding
do
name.
this?
Must be
Musk, you be so extra?
extra.
Elon Musk. I definitely think that there's some stuff going on. If you're listening to this transmission, send us a DM on our Instagram page, and we want to hear from you guys. What do you think about alien life? Is it plausible? Is it ridiculous? I don't know. We want to know.
Hear me out first, though. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like the
Oh, no.
one.
Oh my
Don't
God.
worry,
You guys
Nikita.
gotta
We'll,
hear me
We're
out.
riled up
we'll
today.
rip into you real soon. Don't worry, sister.
Nikita,
Yeah,
you
you-
need some soup or
I'm
something?
not. I'm not against aliens.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm
It's
just.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just agnostic. All right, Cheyenne.
All right, who's up next
Pass the
before we get
tinfoil hat
carried
to
away?
you.
Cheyenne?
Okay.
Oh, nice log screen, you alien lover.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm a proud alien lover, actually.
You're an alien.
So, well, you know what? Maybe. Who the hell knows?
Maybe we're all collecting data on each other.
Well, I
How
know for a
old am
fact
I?
I'm human.
How old am I? What is 5?
That's
Who
what an
knows?
alien would say.
I am human?
Yes.
I am human. I drive a car. I don't even drive. That's the problem. Okay.
I love Gates. I love jobs.
I love gates and jobs.
the scent of musk.
I
is
love
my
the
favorite
phones
scent.
of I.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's almost worth being starved for so long. But I'm going to talk about an event from 1961
Ooh.
called the Hill Abduction.
Flower power.
To be clear, that is an
Flower
abduction
power.
of people named Hill, not an abduction on top of a hill.
Or
Okay.
of a hill.
Barney and Betty Hill, married for about a year and change now. Barney typically works the night shift at his post office. Betty just works for like state child welfare cases. They were an interracial couple in the 60s, which was a very controversial thing at the
Yeah.
time. They were devoted to the church. They participated in the civil rights movement. And so, coupled with all this, there was a lot of stress and fatigue in their life. Having been married for about 16 months, they decided, Barney's like, you know what, we need a break. Spontaneous road trip, which was basically their 3-day honeymoon. So they went from Montreal to Niagara Falls, and on the night of September 19th, they were driving to Portsmouth through the New Hampshire White Mountains. As they're driving, they thought they see a strange light following them. Now, Barney, being a former World War II veteran, told Betty that it was just a satellite, and there's nothing to worry about. Because Barney's a very pragmatic person otherwise. Eventually, they get out the car just to see what it is, because the light's still following them, and they see 6 similar-looking beings coming out of some sort of discus. And the way they recount the story at this time, they remember they just sped back in their car and they started driving because they're freaked the fuck out. They heard beeps from some sort of machine, they felt the car vibrate, and then they knocked out. They wake up again and they don't remember 2 hours of their drive. They go back home, their watches weren't working, the dress was ripped, their shoes were dirty, and otherwise they just kind of went on with the rest of their day, which I guess in this case would be their night.
And how the hell do they remember the aliens?
There's more.
Uh-oh.
So, following this night, they have these horrible dreams. Betty has really bad dreams. And then Barney develops an ulcer, he gets really horrible anxiety, and they start seeking psychiatric help in 1964. So, under the influence of hypnosis, they both recount a UFO, what we now call a UFO, landing. There's like a ramp to the ship. They go inside. The rooms were curved. There's a large light on the ceiling, like an operating table.
Mm-hmm.
Barney remembers that the table he was lying on was too short and his legs kind of hung off at the end. The aliens started doing these medical exams on them just to figure out humans. Betty says that at one point the aliens discovered that Barney's teeth could be removed, and they were really excited about that. But Betty corrected them and saying, no, they're dentures. That's not how it works, because dentures is a very human concept that they would not understand.
Mm-hmm.
They described the aliens as being these gray beings with large eyes.
Is that where that, iconic alien
For the most part, yeah.
character comes
From the
Yeah.
hills.
From the hills of New Hampshire. They described the UFO, the object itself, as being a metal disc the size of their house. And that following the operation, their memories were erased. So upon recounting this story, everybody lost their shit. They started this thing called Project Blue Book, which looked into UFO sightings. And it's considered like this infamous classic abduction story. And people start to wonder, are they liars? Are they just amazing liars? Are they both crazy? Are they on drugs? So it got picked up in 1965 by a newspaper in Boston, and it kind of became the framework for any following alien abduction stories. So a lot of people would say, gray beings with big eyes and a flying metal disc.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of doctors said that it was probably wasn't aliens, but rather just hallucinations, and not just the stress of being an interracial couple in a predominantly white state.
Mm-hmm.
And followed that the Cold War. They work late nights and just
Paranoia of the Cold War.
just a paranoia of the Cold War. But a lot of people also point out the fact that they both recounted the same story separately, and that otherwise they were very sane and pragmatic and logically sound people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, this was the Hill abduction.
Interesting.
Does it sound legit?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, there's definitely something, like, psychic and, like, metaphysical going on with, like, but I don't know if it's aliens. Like, I believe people have these visions, but, like, I don't know if it's extraterrestrials.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's so interesting.
Yeah, it's
And
very
like
interesting.
kind of around the 50s and 60s, though. I mean, there were a lot of
Right?
alien encounters, weren't there?
Yeah, there was a lot of alien encounters.
Or people claiming. I think it was just like a big movement at the time. I mean, you don't hear that as much these days, do you?
Yeah, you also remember it was a different time, right?
Yeah.
People were a lot more paranoid.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the 60s is just consistently like characterized as being this time of paranoia.
Well, yeah, and the 50s as well, because throughout the 50s, 60s, actually until the 80s, so there was so much speculation, especially after World War II, when the Nazis were doing human experiments. Like, they were experimenting on people, and the Nazis were actually very, very technologically advanced for the time. They had some,
We're not pro-Nazi.
dare I say, I mean, they had some
they
brilliant
used it.
scientists and stuff.
Yeah, they used it for horrible things.
They did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there were some really cool things, just innovative things that were produced
Yes.
at the, not
Good
only
wording,
from the
Harrison.
Nazis, not from
Good
the Nazis.
wording. I mean,
Yes,
in
I do
our
remember
media
back in
history
1940,
lectures, we talked about like the War of the Worlds, or
by Orson Welles. I was going to bring
Yeah.
that up too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a good one. And when was that? Was it
that was at World War II, and people thought that
was that World War II?
yeah, some people thought they were aliens, but a lot of people thought that like they were actually like Nazis, and
Yeah.
that was a warning for.
So yeah, here's the thing about
Nazis.
World War II. Like, there were supposed alien sightings in the 40s as well.
Mhm.
Right.
I know in the UK, at least, or in London, they had these balloons that would fly over London. Those were called spotters. And what they would do, basically, they were like big air balloons. There'd be people inside there high above the city. And what they would do is they would spot incoming enemy planes. I think the same thing happened in the U.S. in the 40s as well. This time, I remember hearing about this, I think it was New York.
Okay. Nice.
It was crazy because the military got called in because they thought that this weather balloon was an alien ship, and they started shooting at it. Yeah, it was huge.
Well, hey, now we know how we're gonna handle extraterrestrials.
Yeah, just
Shoot it down. Shoot it down. Pew 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 pew.
Pew 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 pew.
Pew 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 pew
Let me see
pew
if I can
pew.
find this. Anyway,
Nope.
point is,
Anyways.
I think there was just a lot of misunderstanding throughout the 40s and 60s of like what could have been alien crafts. I'm not
Yeah.
dismissing the
Yeah.
idea of aliens and alien sightings, but like since it was such a time of paranoia,
Yeah.
pretty much anything that flew and crashed, and everyone's just so on edge. They're like, oh my gosh, aliens.
I think at the time too, it was like anything different
Yeah.
would freak people out. Communism
Yeah.
was terrifying, or even if you heard the term enemy aliens in the context of
Yeah.
like, war propaganda.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you look at most decades, really, everyone was like, there was some sort of big thing that everyone was kind of afraid of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was war, that other war, the Cold War. It was mostly war.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, it was like drugs.
For my Bunker Book Club, I'm going to bring up, I mean, not to say aliens don't exist, but I'm just going to talk about it, all right?
Yeah, okay.
I don't mean to offend you guys, you alien believers.
I won't be offended. I respect your opinion, bro.
E.T. believed in you, but okay.
Oh, Harrison.
Okay. Anyways, so just think about it. The Fermi paradox is a paradox that kind of takes into account that there are 550 billion planets just in our Milky Way.
Okay.
And less than 2%, so that's like 10 billion, are like kind of habitable. They're like Earth.
Okay.
And if 1/5 of those are in the Goldilocks habitable zone, which is kind of like where Mars and Earth are in distance from the sun, then our Milky Way should have like millions of planets with aliens, with intelligent life. And because Earth is relatively new in comparison to the Milky Way, like there should have been chances for aliens civilizations to have come like billions of years before Earth and had billions of years to like develop into what we have developed into, because like in our span of humans being apes with like working brains for like 10 some thousand years or like 100,000 years, we've come so far and we've made so much technology. So if life did happen, then where is it?
When we say aliens in context, would it be like beings like us?
Yeah.
The way that we understand what a human needs?
I don't
So
think
like
they would
species.
become a human, but like, you know, just for just the conditions on a planet that would allow life, like bacteria and I don't know, fish. You know,
Fish.
That's our ancestor anyway.
Fish? Oh yeah, fish.
Some theories as to why this hasn't happened. Okay, Cheyenne,
Hi.
say that you are a
Alien.
prisoner.
Okay.
Okay, and Harrison is also prisoner.
Okay,
And
we're both
you
prisoners.
guys have the option of either saving yourself or ratting each other out.
Oh.
So Cheyenne, you have the advantage of having the first move. So you can either rat Harrison out for his crime, and
Okay.
if you do that, then he will go to jail, but you won't.
Right.
Or you can concede and be like, I did the crime with him, so you guys get a smaller sentence, but you're both in jail. Yeah, and you get to choose first, and Harrison will get to choose next, and he gets the same options as you, but you don't know if he's going to escape or if he's going to spend it out with
Right.
you. So if you were an alien and you didn't know what your neighboring alien thought, like you had the technology to annihilate your neighboring planet.
Right.
And if you do it first, then you're safe. But if you
Right.
don't, then you just kind of leave it ambiguous, and you don't know if the other planet will kill you or not. I don't know. What would an alien do? And think about it. Like humans, like every time we colonize a place, like we just like
Yeah, we don't-
colonizers don't really handle it well.
No.
Maybe they're more intelligent than us then.
Aliens?
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
they might already know we exist, but they're
Yeah.
either hiding from us because they don't want us to find them.
Well, also
and kill
because maybe
them.
they observe from far what kind of
Like, what would they
characteristics
see?
we have as human beings.
Yeah,
They-
I
and
mean, you
they've
could
seen us.
probably see the planet itself and be like, oh, that doesn't look too good.
Did you see a
Yeah.
bunch of bombs falling?
We could maybe
You know,
not,
we're
maybe.
just gonna let them kill each other off.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
we'll
that's
talk
what they're
later.
waiting for. Maybe they're waiting for humans
waiting
to
for-
kill ourselves off naturally, and then once all humans are gone,
Yeah.
they'll come in and harvest whatever.
Or even going
Probably.
back to
Maybe
serve
humans
man.
just suck, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we suck. I think
Yeah.
we suck.
So confirmed. Aliens exist. They just don't want
They
to
think we
party
suck.
with us.
Yeah.
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 Well, I feel like I still believe that maybe aliens have made contact. It's just maybe the governments are not publicizing it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if the government's tried to make contact with aliens, maybe, aliens are just not picking up the phone.
Maybe we have an agreement. You know, every time there's like a missing persons case and they just can never find the body, it's because the aliens want humans.
Oh, so wait, so the aliens agreed to
I don't know. I'm just being dumb.
accept the blame?
Well, we won't annihilate you guys if around the world we get this quota of X people
One person
per
Oh,
annum.
no.
per decade.
So every time there's a missing persons case, which there are probably thousands of, those people are just.
So, like, human sacrifice? Oh, my God.
Where do you think early case of human sacrifices came from? Maybe the human sacrifices never ended. Maybe the Mayans were onto something.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, guys.
That's game theory.
That's game theory. It is.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcast with this special announcement from the President of the United States of America.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. We are entering a new era, a new decade. As we enter times of war, I must remind you, the American people, that we must do everything we can do to stick together and prevail. As per new regulations and policies, I must remind you to avoid cornfields, baseball fields, and backyards after dawn. If you happen to come into contact with the blinding blue light, don't move. Running home will only increase the chances of you and your family being abducted as well. America, we shall prevail and rise above the ashes. We will show the alien aggressors that we are not to be defeated. God bless our holy nation, and God bless you, the people of America.
Welcome to another exciting round of Questions and Apocalypse. It's our Q&A segment. A few days ago, we asked you guys to give us your alien-related questions, and we're really excited for the deep philosophical talk we're about to have.
Sorry, that was Siri.
Oh,
Siri, shut up.
freaking Siri. Harrison, you have our question for today. Yes.
Yes, I do. I asked you guys from my page, actually, if you had any alien questions. And I got a couple of responses, but I think our favorite one that we ultimately decided to choose comes from user at Amanda_Matze on Instagram.
Hi, Amanda.
And, yeah, hi, Amanda. Her question was, are all aliens like E.T.? And she sent us a little winky face.
Interesting question.
Very interesting question, Amanda, but thank you for your submission. We're going to try our very best to answer your question here today on Apocalypse How.
I send your wink back. I return the wink. Are all aliens like E.T.? I highly doubt it.
I hope so. I mean, E.T.'s a pretty chubby little long neck guy, but he's pretty cool from what I saw in the movie.
Yeah, out of a lot of alien movies, he's like one of the few alien movies where it's like, he's pretty chill.
Yeah, peaceful alien.
Very peaceful alien.
On the contrary from, what the media usually portrays aliens as, they're usually here to attack the planet. This guy's just trying to get home. And he has a little love for Reese's Pieces.
He genuinely comes in peace.
Yeah.
Adorable. I would like to kind of clarify the Fermi paradox, which I brought up in the Bunker Book Club, and try to answer this question, are all aliens like E.T.? Final definition of the Fermi paradox is that it predicts intelligent life in the Milky Way relative to the recipe for intelligent life on Earth.
Right.
So it's kind of based on simple things like carbon, water, and like getting energy from the sun. You could say that assuming that if we're looking for this specific recipe to find life in other places would be kind of egotistical because what if aliens looked like E.T.? Like maybe they didn't need the same things that we did, but evidently E.T. needed the same things we did too because he kind of survived. He kind of thrived on Earth.
He thrived.
He survived off of Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a superpower. You know what I'd be doing if I could just live off of Reese's Pieces? I'd be eating a lot of Reese's Pieces.
I'd be eating a lot of Reese's Pieces.
But yeah, anyways, this recipe is kind of like, we know this works for sure to create life, and if the elements of this recipe should exist enough in the Milky Way for there to be an abundance of life in the Milky Way. So that's why it's a paradox, like, if it is so possible, then why hasn't it happened?
You don't know that. I rest my case.
Maybe it happened and we just don't know it.
Yeah. So a major explanation theory for why this hasn't happened is called the Great Filter Theory. It just basically means that intelligent life will inevitably get wiped out by natural disaster or self-destruct. Maybe it's because that's just kind of what we see on Earth, like the meteors wiped out the dinosaurs and we get wiped out by genocide and war, maybe? I don't know.
Probably.
When the Terminators come.
Terminators, all that stuff. The sun.
The sun. And that could be why, no aliens exist at the same time as us, because they've had, billions of years before us to hit this Great Wall and not pass through. However, if you want to go more in depth to that, Crow's Gazette has, a really, really good video, about the Great Filter Theory. However, there might be some flaws with that because if they have had billions of years to develop, maybe they're a lot more advanced than us, and we should either one be afraid because they are deliberately speaking to us for not speaking to us for a reason, which is that's a popular concern, and it was voiced by people like Stephen Hawking, that we should not try to communicate with them because there is a reason they're not speaking to us. Or two, this is my hopeful theory, but what if trying to communicate with them is an initiation test? We should be trying our hardest to communicate with aliens, because once we figure out how, then they're like, oh, you're technologically advanced enough. Join our galactic society.
Can I just raise a point? How do we know that we haven't already established a connection with them? And just because you and I on a civilian level haven't had a conversation with aliens, where's the assumption come that we haven't done that yet, or haven't attempted? Because
so you think the government just may be hiding communication from us?
Well, it's not even that the government's hiding. The government has admitted, yesterday I talked in my Bunker Book Club segment about how the Pentagon has admitted to spending already I think $22 million on research and stuff like that. And that's what they publicly release. So if they're acknowledging that they're studying alien objects like UFOs and stuff like that, how can we say that we haven't come in contact with them? Because they sorry, continue.
No, so you think that we have made contact with them, but because we have a civilian level, don't really understand what those contact and communication things mean, the government may be hiding.
It's interesting because it's how do we even know we're even talking to aliens as opposed to just some sort of force in the universe that we haven't figured out yet?
Exactly.
And the thing is, it would also have to imply that we know what we're looking for, and we still don't know. Even the question, are all aliens like E.T.?
Yeah.
We're not even sure if all aliens would communicate the same way as we would.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if they've had billions of years, because Earth is relatively new and human life is relatively new, if they've had way longer than us to develop, they've probably had a way more sophisticated communication.
I've always imagined the advanced society being beyond the physical.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't even try to communicate with us through a particular communication device. It might be something more telepathic.
Yeah, it's psychic stuff. Oh,
and
I
that's
totally
hard to
believe
prove.
that. And the third possibility, what if they're intelligent enough to see us, but they're unsure? This is going off of excluding that we have made contact with them.
Okay.
They may be intelligent enough to see us, but they're unsure if they can defend themselves if we don't play nice with them.
I highly doubt they're threatened by us.
Observing and hiding from us.
It's hard to say, right? Because aliens can be anything from more intelligent than humankind, or they could be less advanced, and maybe they don't even have means of communicating. But then again, that's I personally believe that it's not just one kind of alien out there. I believe it's not. I believe just how on Earth we have mammals and we have insects and different kinds of sea creatures and animals and whatnot. I'm sure there are various species of alien creature as well.
I mean, if a particular alien species is as diverse as a human species could be, right? That means it could also vary not just in appearance, because we're all humans, but we all look and act very different.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, the same could apply to aliens, in which maybe not a whole species is benevolent, but rather certain members of that species would be benevolent.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, we don't know, but we don't think so.
And I feel like E.T. is a very, how would I say this? It's just a Hollywood adaptation of what aliens are like, and isn't really based off of any kind of scientific research or anything like that. It's kind of a character of, Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the entire message and idea behind E.T. is to appeal to the Hollywood screens and to audiences and stuff. So it's not really a reflection as to what alien life forms would truly be like. I think they kind of romanticize the idea of aliens and alien life forms for the big screen, which makes sense.
Yeah, I find that the two big interpretations of aliens are the romanticization, as you were saying, as well as just immense fear. They are these, a lot of times in the big alien disaster movies, we don't really hear them talk or do anything except eat and destroy things.
Exactly.
So it's a very black or white interpretation of aliens.
Yeah.
I know last time I was I don't believe in aliens. Or I said I was quote, quote, agnostic about aliens. But I do believe that they exist. But I think they might be less advanced than us, but the Fermi paradox suggests that they are not less advanced than us because we are babies. They're the adults, statistically. And I just think that they exist, but for every scenario, I don't think that humans should try to make contact with them right now, especially if we haven't already, especially if they are more intelligent than us. and they probably are, like, if they don't want us to talk, if they're, like, deliberately not talking to us, like, we're at their mercy. We shouldn't try to communicate to them. And if they think that we can harm them, like, then we shouldn't talk to them, because while some of us may be really nice to aliens, like, who could predict the next baby alien Hitler, right? And, like,
next alien baby Hitler.
Yeah, and if communicating with them is, like, an initiation to some kind of, like, larger galactic society, then, and we are being watched by them, then the first step is to prove that stability is possible on Earth before we can, you know, branch off.
Do they want us to be stable?
Yeah, I think so. I like to think that aliens are like E.T., like, benevolent and nice. Yeah, but they might think that we're not. Because while a lot of us are, you can't predict who's, like, what child is going to grow up and
or
not
even
be nice.
Going back a couple of weeks to the conversation about Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
And about, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was the cult that, like, they believed that aliens would come down, that they were like a godlike being, that they would come down after we as humans acted in a way that they wanted.
Yeah.
So that kind of falls into the idea of that they're waiting for us to. So that, I guess that works.
Peace on Earth.
Peace on Earth. Or mass suicide, whichever
whichever floats your boat. I do hope aliens are cute. I wonder if, like, aliens see us and if they think we're cute.
I don't know. Do they think? I guess that depends on their standards of cute.
Yeah, if they even think.
Are humans cute? And how do we show them that we're cute?
Maybe to aliens we're all ugly.
Yeah.
Just
like how aliens may be ugly to us.
I'm trying to gesture in a way that maybe they'll think we're cute.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hi. This is very cool.
In alien sign language, that means we're here to attack. You guys just started World War
No,
III.
this is
Fight me.
Yeah. Anyway, Amanda, to answer your question, the way we interpret alien life forms can be...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It can be kind of up to your own discretion. There is no... I mean, E.T. isn't...
Yeah. A lot of other unanswered questions, like how many aliens, how many species of aliens.
But E.T. hella hot, though, with those long-ass fingers.
Right? He's hella
He
cute.
cute.
He's hella cute.
Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up this Q&A segment because we have more content to come on the show.
Yay!
But thank you at Amanda_Matze for your submission, and thank you to everyone else who submitted their questions for this segment. We encourage you guys to write to us, to DM us with your questions, and we will do our very best to answer them on the next episode and segment of Q&A. That's Questions and Apocalypse. But yeah, stay tuned, guys, for more content to come. Thank you.
Wait, does that mean that technically this is Questions and Aliens?
To be continued.
Dun, dun, dun.
Time for you to let us know that plan.
Right. So, I think we've been censored.
Why? We don't talk about inappropriate things.
That's bullshit, but okay. No, I'm talking about when we tried to say the address of the Orpheus complex out loud. So I tried to take a picture of our map.
I posted on Instagram. Smart.
Yeah, not really. That got censored too. It wouldn't post. So I tried posting a regular picture and put our address in the caption. Also did not work.
Jeez, why is Atomic Foods so out to get us?
I don't think it's Atomic Foods. It makes sense their booby traps are still in place, but the company is virtually non-existent now. All their employees died in the blast.
But who could be powerful enough to stop us from time and space? Or time and social media?
Good question. But I'm not thinking about that yet. I'm just trying to get us the hell out of here.
Yeah, sorry, Cheyenne, enlighten us.
Okay, this is going to be a long shot. But we can try communicating with the past in code.
What kind of code?
That's up to us to make. I'm proposing we send our location to our past selves in some kind of code. Really anything that can get us past whoever's trying to stop us.
Then our past selves could figure out how to get to the Orpheus complex and destroy the Doomsday Button. not that much pressure. It's just the fate of the world in your hands.
Some of our callers.
And that we saved the world or some crap.
Shit, we might just be doomed.
Hello, being citizen. Were your humans growing agitated lately, asking too many questions, becoming woke? Do they try to bite through your collars more than twice a week? Your human may be conspiring against you, but not to worry. Simply call your local human control station. Remember, if you see something, say something.
Okay, aliens. How do we feel about aliens?
I think they're out there.
I think they're out there.
And they're definitely listening to our podcast right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they think we're cute.
And they're laughing at us.
Aliens, if you're listening, we want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of Apocalypse How, where we answer the age-old question, Apocalypse
How? And we come in peace.
We come in peace.
At least the three of us do.
The three of us come in peace.
Just us three. The rest of the humans can,
Don't speak on the behalf of
we're
mankind.
not representatives of mankind. Wait, if by default, are we representatives of mankind by default if we're the first ones to make legit contact with them?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, so as representatives of mankind, we do not represent mankind.
No, we do not.
Okay, that's ironic.
And we offer this transmission as an offering of peace.
Yes. Please take this transition and then I guess give us food.
We will give you Reese's Pieces.
We will give you Reese's Pieces and Flamin' Hot Cheetos in exchange for
And CRISPR.
and Crispers.
In exchange for world peace.
In exchange for world peace, yes. Please
But
end our
yes.
wars.
Anyway, guys, before we get too off topic, once again, as we tend to on the show,
Oh yes.
we'd like to thank you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of Apocalypse How.
Yes, yes.
As we mentioned earlier on, we are coming to the end of our sessions
Season.
here. Yeah, I guess season posting on Spirit Live. But with that being said, we have some awesome content coming for you guys next week.
Oh yeah.
And in the meantime, you can catch our previous episodes if you're just tuning in now on Spirit Live. You can SoundCloud and YouTube. That's right.
Yes. YouTube now.
YouTube as well. You can find all that information on our Instagram. That is Cheyenne.
Apocalypse How, all lowercase.
Yeah, at Apocalypse How, all lowercase on Instagram. And as always, we encourage you guys to write into us, send questions to be featured on our show. But for now, guys, thank you again for tuning in. And yeah, signing off for another episode. I'm Harrison Snyder.
And remember.
Oh.
Wait. Say I'm Harrison.
And signing off for another episode of Apocalypse How, I am one of your hosts, Harrison Snyder.
I am the host sitting in the middle, Cheyenne Nias.
And I am the host sitting on her left, Nikita Zhang.
Yeah.
And remember.
It's
Not the end of the world. We'll catch you next time, guys.
Aliens, we love you. And we believe in you.
Yeah.
We believe in
Believe in
you.
us.